I haven't had a chance to change your profile picture yet for the intro.
Nah, it's all right, man. It's all right. Although with my lighting today, helped by Mother Nature, I'm like, I should just
Hey,
take a picture of myself right now.
there
No.
you go. You got your flannel on. It's all
Yeah,
good. Fall
yeah.
weather officially in upstate New York finally. But all right. Well, anyway, welcome to No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are proudly presented by Belly Up Sports. My name is Ryan McCarthy. I'm one of the co-hosts. To my right is a man who is still waiting for his hug from Woody Johnson, Dustin Henry. Dustin, how are we doing today?
If Woody went to hug me, I'd say, back off, man. No owner that throws Justin Fields under the bus is a friend of mine.
As for as poorly as he played, and I get it, like I said on Tuesday's show,
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't throw your starting quarterback under a bus, and it's like, oh well. But
Yeah, Julie was blown away in the Discord. I'm telling you, if
yeah,
you're not in the Discord yet, join the Discord. You're missing out on a lot in there.
you certainly are. You certainly are. So we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the NFL. We're talking about Thursday night's game between the Chargers and the Vikings. And another comparison to Justin Fields that I'm going to have to make this episode. But we're also going to talk about Week 8 in the NFL, the rest of Week 8 in the NFL, the Sunday games, what we're looking for, what we're looking forward to, what we're not looking forward to, who to look out for. We're also going to talk about our favorite athletes to wear the number 77 and reveal our picks for the latest edition of the Cut the Breaks Pick'em Challenge for Week 8. But before we get into everything, just want to remind you to please follow us. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required. You can also check out our other podcasts and written articles at bellyupsports.com. And on the podcast side, you can listen to the podcast and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And that includes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, Pandora, and our host, which is Podbean. And also hit that notification bell on Twitter and on YouTube, just so you know when there's live show, like when the live show goes up, when there's show announcements, when there's clips from the show. We're actually going to be recording a special. We're going to be recording a 10 good minutes. After this episode, we're going to talk about the Netflix documentary that just came out this week, Who Killed the Montreal Expos. It's a murder mystery of baseball of world proportions. But we got some thoughts about that, so we're going to record it later. It'll be on our YouTube channel. This show will be on the Belly Up Sports YouTube later today, and we're also on the Belly Up Sports Twitter channel today as well. So check it. So if you're on Belly Up Sports Twitter channel, say hello. And also, if you're on the podcast side, rate, review, comment. 5-star rating would be helpful. Review if you're on a podcast platform like Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, Podchaser. Also, leave a comment if you're listening on Spotify. We'll check them out. We'll read those comments. We'll read those reviews. And also, if you're watching on Belly Up Sports YouTube, leave a comment. What's your most notable game for Week 8? What are you looking forward to? Is your team on a bye week? What's your plan? Here's a question for you, because I know your Seahawks are on bye week this week. Dustin.
Yes.
What are your plans? Like, I want to know, like, what people's plans are when their team is on bye week. What do you do? Like, do you yard work? Do you spend actual time? Do you spend time with your actual family? Like, do you go to church? What do you do on your bye week when your team's not playing? Do you watch the rest of the NFL, or do you bunk off and do other things? I'm kind of curious to know what people's bye weeks look like when their team's not playing.
Yeah, leave it in the comments. And Ryan, you know my plans for this bye week. And because we do this fine show together, I do watch the rest of the NFL feverishly because we have things to talk about. We have things to chop it up about. But that's why I figured I hadn't done a football get together. So I said, I'm going to do one. Seahawks are on the bye, which I actually forgot when I scheduled this football get together. But you know what? Now it'll be a stress-free, easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl bye week for me. because we're going to be eating good food. We're going to be watching football. And I have no stakes. I just want good games. That's the best place to be in my opinion.
Yeah, let's hope that the 1:00 games, unlike last week, which are absolute clunkers, are competitive this week. But hey, I'll be there tomorrow too. So watching NFL football, and I don't know if our mutual friend Scott will be there. We'll probably have his
He will.
Jets game on with the Cincinnati Bengals, and oh God, why, Scott, why?
I'll tell you, Ryan, I looked at that little production note. I looked at that game and I thought about picking it for one of my picks, but that game is a tough game to pick for me. It really is, especially with Sauce being out, but I just have this feeling. I'm like, I don't know. The Bengals defense is so bad, and if Tyrod is at quarterback, the Jets may have something. Who knows? Maybe Brees can get it going for my fantasy team. I hope so.
All right. Yep. And also, because we're a live show on most Saturdays at 10 a.m., I pushed it forward to 10:30 this morning. And we're also on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and we're live on Twitter. The replay is on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel the next day on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. But we love interaction. We love to have interaction, the back and forth with our audience. And Dustin, I hear the Hark the Herald chimes sing. I don't know. It's not Christmas just yet, but
yeah, they're in the distance, but approaching fast. It's chime time.
Let me hear him, brother. All right, and no, if our friend Desi shows up in the chat, she'll say she's peachy. All right, we're going to start off this episode with talking about Thursday Night Football. I don't know, California. Let's call them the California Chargers because
they
belong in San Diego.
I know
they're in Los Angeles and they play in front of nobody. They creamed the visiting Minnesota Vikings on Thursday Night Football, 37-10. I didn't watch the game. I checked out the highlights on Friday morning before I went to the gym. This game wasn't even close.
Yeah.
This game wasn't even close. So I'm going to have my esteemed co-host start off with his thoughts about this Thursday night, or as I call it, Thursday night game.
Yeah, this is the first game, in my opinion, on the Thursday night slate that lived up to the moniker, Ryan. This game was awful. And I mean, I will admit, I usually have standing plans with friends most Thursday nights. So I don't always catch Thursday night football as regularly as I did last year. Last year, I tortured myself with every Thursday night football game. I viewed it as my job to make sure that we had coverage. But I watched the highlights of this game, Ryan, and your comparison is apt. Like I said, this one lived up to the moniker you bestowed upon Thursday Night Football. It was never really close. Joe Alt did play in this game. There was some question as to whether he would. He was there for the Chargers. The Vikings tried early. You could tell they tried to get Justin Jefferson the ball. They threw it to him early on their first drive. It did not work out. Justin Jefferson was fine, but the problem is they have Carson Wentz at quarterback. I think we can put that to bed. Jared Goff, the better draft pick, because I remember they were drafted in the same class, a couple picks apart, and people debated who was going to be better. That debate's been settled. I'm sorry, Carson Wentz, but you don't. And it made me think before I get into more about the game, which I will, but there's not much to say about it. How much do the Vikings wish that Sam Darnold was still in their locker room? Because I think if you were to ask Kevin O'Connell, he'd say, man, I wish we still had Sam Darnold. And that is not me as a Seahawk fan sitting here gloating. It's just a fact. They had him last year.
Twist the knife, twist the knife, twist the knife.
They had him last year. They could still have him. Now, who knows? Maybe J.J. McCarthy develops into something great. But Carson Wentz, he's not it, because let me tell you, with Carson Wentz at quarterback, last week they actually played the Eagles better than I thought. But this week they had nothing. The Chargers defense completely shut them down. They held the Vikings. Are you ready for this rushing total, Ryan? They held them to 34 yards rushing.
Oh,
when you make a team that one-dimensional and Carson Wentz is at quarterback, it doesn't work. They did score a touchdown late in this game because they started with a short field after a Justin Herbert interception. They were able to get a touchdown to Jordan Addison, but I would submit if they didn't have that short field, they wouldn't have scored this touchdown. This was, as you said, Brian, a beatdown. The Vikings missed field goals. They couldn't get anything going. The Chargers led 21-3 at the half. And the Chargers, to add insult to injury, they were up 14-3, and they went on a beautiful drive right before the end of the half, and they hit Lad McConkey in the end zone. Keenan Allen continues to just be a outlet for Justin Herbert. What I like, the connection that they have is something special. And Keenan Allen had it with Phillip Rivers prior to Justin Herbert coming in there. So there's just something special about Keenan Allen in a Chargers uniform. I like that they went back to like the 2001 era Chargers unis for this game. I prefer the powder blues, but it was nice to see those unis back. And Kamani Vidal, he filled in nicely at running back. He looked like an RB1 in this one, 127 yards and a touchdown, averaging 6 yards a carry. So they were able to run all over the Vikings. The pass was working with the exception of the one interception. Nothing worked for the Vikings in this one. They couldn't get it going. The Chargers defense was dominant.
yeah. I got a handful of thoughts, but I got some comments in the comment section from James. He says, "Morning, gentlemen. Last night was fun despite my being in hostile territory." James went to the Sharks Devils game down at the Rock last night. He's a Sharks fan, so you know he's an East Coaster. He's a Sharks fan, which
nice. I respect it.
makes me a little suspicious. But then again, you're a Seahawks fan, so
yeah.
But Devils won 3-1 for their 7th straight win of the season. Love it. At least the teams is doing well.
Yeah, they're on fire, Ryan. And the Oilers have scuffled a bit to start the season, but we've seen this before.
Yeah. Actually, if I look at the standings,
the Oilers need goaltending. And did they invest in it in the offseason? They did not.
Oh, by the way, guess who leads the league in points? Overall points in the standings, in the overall standings in the NHL? My New Jersey Devils.
Well, there you go.
7 straight wins after dropping their opener against Carolina. They've rattled off 7 straight wins. They have a plus 12 goal differential. Love to see that.
Actually, our buddy Derek, the reason he will not be at my house for football tomorrow, he is going to the Devils game. He is going to the Devils game.
Oh, you're going to see Devils
tomorrow.
In Colorado Avalanche. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep,
well, it's better than watching his Miami Dolphins.
yeah.
He'll be doing something fun on Sunday. We'll be watching the Dolphins because they're terrible. So are the Jets. James said he's an Eagles fan too. He says Wentz's decline since his injury was painful to watch. Letting Press Taylor buddy around with him was worst possible move. He also says the reason why he's a Sharks fan, he's a Joe Thornton.
Oh yeah.
The beard, just a big Joe, lumberjack. Him and Brent Burns with those legendary beards. With the San Jose Sharks back in the day. I remember there's a meme. There was a meme of Brent Burns like from his rookie season all the way up to like just a few years ago, the progression of his beard, and then like the ninth picture is Chewbacca.
Oh man,
I gotta find that and post that in the Discord. All right, my thoughts about this game. Like I said, I didn't watch this game. I was at my parents' house and I went basically straight. I did a language lesson and I went straight to bed. I'm learning German now, so hey,
nice.
Yeah, good for me.
Guten Tag.
Yeah, guten Tag. Yeah. How do I say this? Meine Katze ist klug. My cat is smart. Anywho, back to this game. I watched the highlights. By the way, I gotta say, Supercharger uniforms, bring them back, man. Bring them back on the regular, please. Although I have to say, those uniforms were near perfect, but they don't need to have those numbers on the helmet.
Oh yeah.
I didn't like that.
You don't like the look of the numbers on the helmet. In
No, I didn't. No,
college, I like it. In
no,
college, I like it.
not. I mean, I will say this, but for that uniform, that specific uniform, they didn't have the numbers on the helmet.
Oh yeah,
For that
you are right.
supercharger for the two superchargers era. So next time they do the uniforms, leave the numbers off the helmet because it doesn't vibe. It doesn't vibe with that 90s. It had that 80s, the late 80s, 90s vibe
Yeah.
that it had. Like, leave the numbers off, Chargers, please. I know we're just a peon podcast in upstate New York, but like just leave it as it was back in the 90s. But looking at this game, and I also have to wonder, is Al Michaels even interested in commentating on being play to play on football anymore? Like, is he even interested in it? Because he just sounds bored. And
Yeah.
Kirk Herbstreit is just trying to like force him to with his enthusiasm. I love Kirk Herbstreit and his enthusiasm. There's a little much with the dogs, not gonna lie, but like he's just trying to be the energy to keep Al Michaels going.
Well, I don't know because there are certain games where I think Al Michaels still shows up for Thursday Night Football where he kind of like turns it back. It's like an older fighter that maybe turns back the clock for one match and gets it going. But for the most part, I agree with you, Ryan. I do feel like he did not want to go to Amazon. He made it clear. He was very vocal about that when the whole changeover happened and everything. He was not happy to be moved, and let's just say you can tell in his representation of the product, man.
Yeah, I feel sad for the guy. Like he's in his 80s, and you know, you're supposed to be. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'll have a separate rant about that. Not separate rant, but separate thoughts about that. But I just feel bad because it's like he doesn't sound like the old Al Michaels that he used to be back on Monday Night Football and Sunday night, even on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't sound as enthusiastic about these games as he used to be. But getting back to the game, yeah, this was an absolutely dominant performance by the Chargers. They showed up. They showed up, and they absolutely need this game. Because they had lost three in a row.
I believe so.
Three out of their last four. They're 5-3 now, but they had lost three out of their last four because they'd started out 3-0, and they lost to the Giants, lost to the Commanders, beat the Dolphins barely, lost last week to the Colts. Now they come home, they stay home, and they play the Vikings. And next week they play the Titans. So they got two get right games that you need to have, and they got this one. They got this one. It was in the bag pretty early. 21-3 at halftime, as you mentioned. Justin Herbert doing Justin Herbert things, but the one breakout star that this team, we've talked about the injuries, we've talked about all the injuries they have suffered. Joe Alt came back from his first game back since he left the Giants game a couple weeks ago. Other injuries in the offensive side of the ball. You talked about Keenan Allen's resurgence coming back. We got to talk about Oronde Gadsden II.
Oh yeah, he's tight end for them, right?
He's a tight end from University of Syracuse, the son of legendary Miami Dolphins wide receiver Oronde Gadsden. His stat line, he's getting a lot of targets. He's got a lot of targets recently, and he got a lot of targets. He had 5 targets in this game, 5 receptions for 77 yards and a touchdown. Last week, had 7 receptions on 9 targets for 164 yards and a touchdown in that lost game against the Indianapolis Colts, where the Colts just blew him out of the water. But Oronde Gadsden, he's starting. I'm not going to say he's the second coming of Antonio Gates. All right, let's not get it twisted.
Yeah, that's tough.
He is a viable target for this lineup because they've been looking for a pass catching tight end since Antonio Gates retired, and they drafted Oronde Gadsden. He was drafted. It's a 5th round pick. He's a rookie, so he's emerging as a big time target for this team, other than McCarthy and Keenan Allen and Johnston. But he is a nice target for Justin Herbert to look for if he needs that outlet pass, that quick outlet pass to But safety, a safety. You can dare say a safety valve.
Yeah.
Right? And he's coming along nicely. It's for the value that he has as a fifth rounder, as a rookie. That's solid value right there, and he's such an important. He's started becoming an important part of Jim Harbaugh's offense, and you love to see it. You love to see You love to see talent like that, like a diamond in the rough. Like you love to see that talent come along. Excuse me, I got whiplash from the hash browns I had this morning, or it's the spicy sausage gravy that was with the biscuits and gravy.
Oh man,
that's good stuff. But anyway, getting back to the Chargers, defensively they look pretty solid, but they're playing again a depleted Minnesota Vikings lineup. They have no running game. Carson Wentz, it seems like he is another version of, and I hate to use this comparison because he's an easy target to dunk on, but he just seems like he's Justin Fields, but with a better, I would say, he doesn't hold the ball as long, but he's not as mobile. And for whatever reason, and James said that Carson Wentz's decline is painful to watch, because this guy was considered he was the man for the Philadelphia Eagles in their Super Bowl season in 2017.
Yeah,
and he had that ACL tear,
which in the grand scheme of things, 2017, not that long ago. But not that long ago.
No, it's 8 years ago.
Yeah,
but had that ACL tear against the Rams. We all know what happened with Nick Foles coming into the lineup and leading the Eagles to the Super Bowl. But the Vikings' playoff chances are starting to evaporate, and it's not looking good for Kevin O'Connell, for KOC, for his quarterback situation. And if I'm him, I'm praying for JJ McCarthy's return to come soon, because this offense is different with JJ McCarthy in the lineup. And we saw Carson Wentz; he had some glimpses of old glory, but in this game was not great. He did not have a great game, and he'll probably be the first one to say, "Yeah, I didn't play great. This is not a great game for me, and not great in the stat sheet, and not great on the screens at home." So if I'm Kevin O'Connell, I'm saying, look, JJ McCarthy's got to come back soon. And I might have to let me just look at the injury report, because he sprained, because that was week 2. That's all the way in week 2 that JJ McCarthy's injury came about. And again, Carson Wentz had a great game against the Bengals, okay game against the Steelers, okay game against the Browns, decent game against the Eagles. This game he was lousy. This game was absolutely lousy, and he felt bad. And now he's out with a shoulder injury. But it looks like JJ McCarthy, he will start week 9 if he's healthy, according to Ian Rappaport. So if you're the Vikings and you're a Vikings fan, you're going, oh man, they had playoff hopes for this year. Like last year, again, another great 13-4 team that failed. They're not even close to that form. No. Even though they're 3-4 right now, but they're nowhere near the form they had in 2023 or 2022, excuse me, and they're absolutely nowhere near the form they were last year. So if I'm a Vikings fan, I'm going, all right, we got to start picking it up. This offense needs to pick it up. And I think part of it is that they don't have a run game right now. They have no run game, and it showed in this game. And you have to wonder, looking at the depth chart. Now, Aaron Jones was a nice little pickup because they lost out in the Jordan Jacobs sweepstakes, or Josh Jacobs sweepstakes. But Aaron Jones is not Josh Jacobs. And I have a feeling Rice for dominant moment incoming, Dustin.
All right.
I got a feeling that we're going to see some evaluations for the Vikings coming up in the draft for a talented running back. I had to pause it because it's a long thunderclap.
It is.
But I just have a feel. And
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of evaluations that the scouts have right now for top running backs in this draft. I don't care because I'm not paying attention. I'm not about the draft talk right now. I'm
Yeah.
not about it. I'm not about it right now. I'm focused on the present time,
Mm-hmm.
week 8. But man, I think this offense would look a lot different if they had a running game to support JJ McCarthy or
Yeah.
Carson Wentz or whoever's playing, or Nick Mullins, whoever is your quarterback. They would be much better helped if you had a running back who could be a really good support. We're seeing it with Daniel Jones in
Yeah.
Indianapolis. He's got Jonathan Taylor, who is, I think, could break 2,000 yards this year. He's far and away the leading rusher in the NFL right now. And his game has stepped up because he has that support with
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Taylor picking up the load. And whether or not you'll see him back in Indianapolis next year is totally up to Daniel Jones. But the way he's playing, having that kind of running back, having that support, like we see it with Josh Allen. We kind of see it. We saw it up until last week with Michael Penix. When the run game gets going in Atlanta, Michael Penix is a better quarterback.
Yeah.
That got taken away last week in San Francisco too. So for the Vikings, maybe it's time to start evaluating. By no means are they out of the playoff picture, but as far as Super Bowl hopes go, I don't see it. I don't think a lot of Viking fans are very optimistic about that either. So I just have a feeling that it's going to be they're going to start evaluating, and they're going to look at running back for JJ McCarthy because he's their quarterback. If he's their quarterback of the future, they need a running back to help him out and give him support.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know the current. I can't remember. Did Aaron Jones start the year injured? Because he was great for the Vikings last year. But this year, like you said, they have no running game, especially in this game to speak of. I mean, it was terrible.
And 5 rushes for 15 yards.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was his first game back from because he was injured in week 2 as well.
Okay. Yeah. That's what so he didn't start injured, but I remembered he was injured. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too good.
Yeah. All right. We'll take a commercial break in just a moment. Just want to visit the comment section here. Julie from Michigan saying, hello, gentlemen. Hello to you, Julie. She also says, I'm personally happy because the Vikings lost. Of course. Of course you are. James saying John DeFilippo was the key loss when the championship tax is considered. He pushed Wentz harder than Peterson or Frank Reich did. Comparison would be Larry Boa with Robinson Cano. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, Cano had it easy in pinstripes, I would say. He was much more relaxed, and when he signed that huge contract with the Mariners, he wasn't the same.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't the same. He's again another example of a guy who could be a star, but he's better as a support for the big stars, for the big cheeses.
Yeah.
Julie saying Jared Goff has some great running backs as well. Homer alert!
Oh, Julie, that's modesty. They have the best running back tandem in the NFL. Let's not act like they don't.
They could, and it could be the Jets who are the second best running tandem. But Braylon Allen's done for the year because he had surgery on his knee, so he's done.
Man,
I hate it here. Kevin Jack Wilson from Belly Up Fantasy Sports chiming in saying, "Morning, gentlemen. We survived the storm. The Dodgers,
very good news, Kevin.
But your Dodgers didn't.
Oh man, Ryan coming off the top rope.
I had to twist the knife. You didn't do it, so I will. All right, we're gonna talk about our premier, one of our partners here at No Credentials Required for our commercial break, and that is Royal Retro's Throwback Wear. Remember when jerseys were bold, like the Chargers uniforms? Mustaches were glorious and shorts were way too short. Good news. You can bring back all that retro magic minus the chafing with Royal Retros. They've got vintage style football, baseball, basketball, and hockey gear that screams, I was born in the wrong era, but I look amazing. Rock a jersey that makes people say, wait, is that from the 80s or the 70s or the 60s? Yes. Yes, it is. And you look fantastic. Head over to royalretros.com. Use the promo code CREDHEAD, CREDHEAD at checkout for 10% off your order. That's CREDHEAD, like a fan of our show, a fan with excellent taste in throwbacks. royalretros.com. Royal Retros, the king of throwbacks. And yeah, check them out. They got some great gear. We're proud to be an affiliate of Royal Retros. They got some awesome gear. They are the premier sponsor for our Cut the Breaks Pick'em Challenge, which we'll get to in a little bit. But we're going to talk about the rest of Week 8, what we're looking forward to. And I'm going to start off. My most intriguing matchup of Week 8 isn't one that screams right away. It doesn't scream out and just to say, "Hey, look at me! I'm in Week 8 matchup." Bills at Panthers.
Okay.
Bills at Panthers, because the Bills. Let's talk about this game. Bills are coming off a bye week. Bills have had some struggles. They lost at home to New England on a Sunday night. Nobody really saw that coming, unless you're a Patriots fan or the Patriots themselves. You've got the Carolina Panthers, who are on a 4-game winning streak, I believe, or they
4
won
or 3.
last 5. They're 4-3.
Mm-hmm.
They won 3. They won their 3 games at home. They had lost all their games away, but last week against the Jets they won. But I believe Bryce Young is out for this game because the turf monster at MetLife got him last week, and he twisted his ankle. He's got an ankle sprain, so he'll be out this week. So the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, will be playing at quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. And Carolina is an interesting team. They're very fascinating because 1 week, to start the season, at least in September,
Mm-hmm.
they were just either they were straight garbage or they looked like the best team in the NFL. And it keeps rolling. It just keeps rolling. And hey, Carolina, I think they're starting to put something together. I mentioned this in our preview for the beginning our preseason preview. I had Carolina in second. I picked Carolina to finish second in the NFC South, and every team in that division is playing fairly well. Even New Orleans. New Orleans, they don't win a lot of games. They've only won 1 game, but they're scrappy, man. They're a scrappy unit. With the exception of that Seattle game, they're a scrappy team.
Mm-hmm.
And Carolina's another one of those teams. Like on paper, they don't look like a whole lot, but their defense is getting better. Their defense is giving them chances. J.C. Horn had 2 interceptions last week. And I think that they're going to give Buffalo a tougher time than what you believe. I mean, even Buffalo still has injuries. They got a couple guys out for this game. If I look at the injury report, let's see, DeJuan Jones, he's out. Defensive tackle, he's out. Terrell Bernard, questionable. Matt Milano, questionable. Dalton Kincaid, questionable. And Josh Palmer, out with an injury. So the run game's got to get going for the Buffalo Bills. And they're going to do it against a tougher than I think a lot of people give them credit for, Panthers defense. So that's my most, and the game's in Charlotte, and Panthers are perfect at home. And if they beat the Bills, the Bills are in trouble. The Bills will be in trouble because they're sitting at 4-2 right now, and they looked unbeatable for the first 4 weeks of the season. The last 2 games, they have looked human.
Mm-hmm.
Especially especially that game on Monday night against the Atlanta Falcons. Man, they did not look like they were the juggernaut we thought they were going to be. But they had a bye week. They've had a week to heal up, get things right, but they still have some injuries that I'm kind of, if I were a Bills fan, I would be concerned about. But they still got James Cook in the backfield. They still got Josh Allen. They'll make differences. But that defense is going to be, it's going to be interesting to see what they do on defense, especially with Andy Dalton as the quarterback for the Panthers. Again, two-headed running back attack with Chuba Hubbard and
Yeah. Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle. You got Ted McMillan as your primary receiver. So this is gonna be. I think this matchup is going to be very, very intriguing. At least for me. What about you, Dustin? What's your most intriguing matchup of Week 8?
Well, I'm kind of with you. I think that game could be sneaky. It could be more competitive than you think. But for mine, and it feels crazy because I've talked about them 2 weeks in a row now. But for me, I was looking, and a lot of teams are on bye. Okay, 6 teams
Yep.
are on bye, I believe. So that's part of it. But I'm looking at this Cowboys and Broncos game because I want to see what the Broncos defense, who has been very, very good to start this year, will they be able to shut down what has been inarguably, we can hate on it all we want, but the Cowboys offense has been great.
Mm-hmm.
Offense is not the problem with this team. And also, this could be a quote unquote revenge game for Javonte Williams. I think he'll be
Ooh.
motivated to prove something against this former team, prove that they shouldn't have, given up on him with the injury from a few years ago. But will the Broncos, will Bo Nix, particularly, who looks to have started to take a step towards righting his season. He was, before last week's amazing comeback against the Giants. Sorry, Giants fans. He was mired in what I think a lot of people would consider a sophomore slump. So I want to see what he does if he's able to keep it going against a Cowboys defense that hasn't been able to stop anybody, with the exception of last week. They actually got some stops against the Commanders, and the Cowboys defense has been so inept that the announcers were surprised that the
Yeah.
Cowboys defense got some stops last week. So there's a lot to look at in this game. I want to see if CD continues to knock the rust off in his return from injury. He looked pretty good last week.
Mm-hmm.
Looked like he hadn't lost a step, but I am so intrigued to see how he and Pickens will coexist because they both want the ball. They both consider themselves number one. How's Dak going to keep both of them happy? And CD's the number one option there. But George Pickens, you cannot argue with the way that he's played. That signing's been great.
Yep.
And he emerged as the number one, more than capable number one, while CD was out. So I've got my eye on a lot in this game, but I have no faith in the Cowboys defense at all. But this will be a fun one to watch because I think the Broncos they'll be able to shut down the Cowboys. But if the Broncos offense needs to get it going to keep up with the Cowboys, I think we'll see if Bo can do it for another week here.
Julie in the comment section saying, I'm taking your guys' recommendations on what to watch since the Lions are on a bye. Maybe I'll watch both games. Hey. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Buffalo, Carolina is in the 1 p.m. slot, and Dallas, Denver is a 4:25 game. So
Yeah.
you could watch both if it's available in your region, or you can check out Red Zone, which what we're gonna do tomorrow.
Yeah, come over to the dark side, Julie. Get on Red Zone.
Yeah. The 6 teams on a bye this week, including Detroit, Las Vegas, the Rams, Cardinals, Dustin Seahawks, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. All on a bye this week. So my Jets are on a bye next week. So let's talk about the self-hatred game of the week, also known as the friends and family game, because only friends and family really care. Shout out to Rod Peterson.
There we go.
So, Dustin, what is your self-hatred / friends and family game of the week?
All right, for me, and I'm sorry to do it because I feel like I picked them a couple weeks ago, but I'm doing it again. It's the Titans versus the Colts. I just think with the way the Colts have played, the Colts, we talked on Seahawks sessions, who is the toughest remaining test for the Seahawks? And I picked the Colts because the Colts are unbelievable. They have been the surprise of the season. And you mentioned it. Jonathan Taylor is the leading rusher in the NFL. He's going to run all over the Titans. The Titans will not be able to stop him. The Colts defense which I thought was going to be terrible when the season started. I predicted that they would not be good. They have shut me up because they've been a lot better than I think people thought they would be. And they're going to make it a long day for Cam Ward because that offensive line can't protect him as well at all. Tyler Lockett requested and was granted his release from the Titans, so he got out of there. It's just going to be a long day. I don't see a world. There's a small possibility that this is a trap game for the Colts, but I don't think so. I mean, Daniel Jones, he's been spreading the ball around. They have the rookie tight end that has been unbelievable for them. They just have too many weapons. The Titans, I tried to look up whether Calvin Ridley will be playing. I didn't get a answer on that. He's one of their best weapons, and there's questions as to whether he will even play. This is going to be rough, Ryan.
Calvin Ridley, I just looked. Well, I wouldn't say breaking news, but
Okay.
on the injury report, he is out for Sunday.
Oh, yeah,
so,
okay.
Oh boy,
man.
You're right, Dustin. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be. You're right. It's gonna be an ugly game. It's a 425 game, which is interesting for, I'd say, Midwest team to have a 425 start, because usually those are saved for the West Coast teams. And Tampa Bay New Orleans is a 405 start.
That could be a good one, but that one could be a good one because, as you mentioned, the Saints are scrappy and Baker Mayfield struggled a bit last game. Let's call it what it is. So we'll see here.
Yeah, the Lions defense did it with their third stringers, or their second and third stringers, or as Julie put it, second strong defense.
yeah.
They and you know what? Mike Evans breaking his collarbone didn't help either, and it's a sad thing to see. But Julie asking if red zone is worth it. She might look into it. Yes, absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it, especially if you have sports ADD like myself. Like, I like to go back and forth between games. This is all right. All the games, put them on. Let's see what highlights and such. So I like it. I like it. For me, my self-hatred / friends and family game this week, it is the Dolphins at the Falcons. If you get a chance, take a listen to our the Morgan Man podcast. Stacey Morgan, he previews every Atlanta Falcons game. He breaks it down. I didn't get a chance to listen, but I'll probably listen during my editing. But this is going to be an ugly affair because the Dolphins, oh my God. The Dolphins, let's just put it this way. Looking at social media this week, trade deadlines in roughly 12 days, 12 days. No, I'm sorry. Maybe 10 days. Hang on.
We're looking it up. Real-time research.
10 days for the trade deadline. 4 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, November 4th. That's the trade deadline. The Dolphins are rumored to be sellers. There's going to be a fire sale. Several, I would say, I think I saw names like Jalen Phillips. He's on the trade block. Jalen Waddle, Devon Achant. Like, they're all those pieces are up for grabs, so to speak, in terms of talent to acquire for other teams who are prospectively either in a playoff spot or who are running away with the division, like the Colts are with the AFC South. The Falcons, this is going to be their bugaboo this year. They're going to have a lot of get right games. This is certainly a get right game because of the clunker they had last week in Santa Clara when they played the 49ers. They had a great game against Buffalo the week before on Monday night. They absolutely just tore them apart. The defense just completely tore the Bills apart. And didn't show up against the 49ers. And granted, the final score was 20-10, but they were outclassed in that game. Absolutely outclassed in that game. And they're looking to get right, and they're at home against a very poor Miami Dolphins team that I think we're basically seeing their the destruction before our eyes
Mhm.
in terms of the Mike McDaniel era. Because last week, I don't know if you got a chance to look at the clip. Maybe I'll post it in Discord. But his answer for what happened last week against Cleveland was just he was just rambling.
Yeah.
He had nothing noteworthy to speak of. It was just he was just looked like he was lost,
Yeah.
like a lost kid. I'm just going. Part of me is like absolutely, it's just absolutely laughing hysterically. But the other part of me is like, I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can't help it. I think that's a human emotion because I kind of feel the same way. I mean, it's clear defensively. So Mike McDaniel clearly knows what he's doing offensively. You don't have the offenses that put up numbers. I guess, yes, they were against some bad teams at one point. But how much of this do you put on Mike McDaniel? Because we don't know how much input he has on roster decisions, but I knew this Dolphins defense was going to be bad. I knew it was. So, the Tua decisions, how much does Tua have a role in that? Should they have stuck with him? Should they have moved on from him? He's clearly struggling, but I do feel bad for Mike McDaniel because he's similarly to Larry Brown in the NBA. The season has just started, so it's kind of on my mind a little bit. There was a press conference when Larry Brown was still coaching LeBron, and they asked him a question, and he just basically kind of laughed because he had you could tell he had no answer. And that's where I think Mike McDaniel is right now. He just doesn't know what to do, doesn't know what to say.
No, I don't blame him either because the season. Remember that 70 burger they put on the Broncos 2 years ago?
Yeah,
it seems light years away.
Yes,
from what from this today seems light years away from that. And that was basically the turnaround for the Dolphins, the Broncos defense. Because after that game, they were playing much, much better. And then now they're the unit they are now with the Broncos. But then we fast forward to 2025 and we see what the Dolphins are doing on offense now. Again, like you said, we don't know if it has to do with Tua. We don't know if it has to do with personnel. I know the Tyreek factor comes in. Hill factor comes in. They're missing him. He was asked about his career, whether he was going to retire after this injury, this severely catastrophic injury he suffered against the Jets on Monday night a couple weeks back. He doesn't know if he's going to come back. So, but this game is going to be. It's not going to be good because it's Jeff Ulbricht's defense against the Miami offense. And I know what Jeff Ulbricht's defenses can do against AFC East teams. And he's probably had this game circled on his calendar, and he's had the game against the Jets is coming up circled on his calendar too. To which I say, for these games, thank God for NFL Red Zone. Because man, oh man, these two games they're not going to be pretty. Although I predict, another Rice prediction, we're going to see a lot of touchdown package highlights from both those. I think at least one of those games, and it'll be the Colts.
Yeah.
James in the comment section saying, I can't imagine that the anvil hanging over McDaniel's head is going to stay hanging for that long. Yeah, him and Chris Greer, GM.
Oh, yeah.
Fans are calling for his head too because he's just as responsible for putting this roster together and for the product that's currently on the field. And if I'm owner Steve Ross, I'm going, it's just a matter of time. Just can't wait. I cannot wait for January 5th because this era might be over. For the Dolphins. So, but I'd be curious to see if when it's not an if now, it's a when these two will be gone. What Stephen Ross is going to have to do to bring over a candidate like a Bill Belichick, or I don't know, like, are you going to have to make a trade for John Harbaugh, or heck, I'll say it, John Gruden?
Yeah.
He's quite. I would say he's shadow banned from the NFL right now based on what happened when his time with the Raiders and those emails were released. and he basically was the fall guy for all that. But I'm kind of curious to see if Stephen Ross will go to Gruden and say, "I'll give you a similar contract like the Raiders did a couple of years ago, where you stay on basically as a lifer with the Raiders or with the
Yeah,
Dolphins, excuse me."
yeah, and you know what? Because I think he's been quietly linked to some prospective college jobs, but
Yep,
Gruden
Penn
doesn't
State, University of Florida, to name two.
he doesn't strike me as a college guy. You know how
No,
you get like a feel for some coaches? Gruden is an NFL guy through and through. That's how he strikes me. So if he wants to come back to coaching and the opportunity's actually there, which, there's a lot surrounding that. The NFL, I think, if we see him again, the NFL is where I think he would be.
yeah, absolutely for sure. Absolutely for sure. All right, who do we have our eyes on in week? Oh, I should change that to week 8. It's not week 7 anymore, Ryan. What are you doing?
It's all right. You're the talent and the production, sir, on this fine show.
Eh.
You don't get to show up and just frantically eat a bowl of cereal in the green room like I do.
There are days which I wonder. I'm like, maybe we should have Dustin drive for once.
Oh man, it'd be a fun show. I mean, hey, if you want me to learn, I'm willing to learn, and we could try that.
We'll get one of these. I'll be in the back. Dustin will be driving. I'll be doing this in the background.
Kids, won't you step outside for a second?
Dear Lord, that's the loudest profanity I've ever heard.
You played the
know-
wrong element.
I was gonna say we'd put a student producer on the like a sticker, like the student driver sticker, and you would have one of the steering wheels and brakes where you could stop me from crashing the car.
Student driver. Student producer.
Yeah.
All right, well, getting back on track here. Players we have our eyes on in week 8. I've got offense and defense because we're just trying to be balanced here.
Yeah.
On offense, Aaron Rodgers. Of course, they're playing for the first time since he was traded from the Green Bay Packers. He'll be facing the Green Bay Packers, and it'll be a feature game on Sunday Night Football. He's as a Pittsburgh Steeler, he's facing the Packers for the first time, and I'm curious to see what he's going to do against this Green Bay Packers defense, especially with Micah Parsons starting to come alive and being the guy who everybody thought he was going to be this season as a member of the Green Bay Packers. He's starting to find his form, and he's going to do it against the. I would say a curiously performing Steelers offense because we don't know what they are. We honestly don't know what they are because they don't really have much of a running game, and they have one, maybe 2 targets. Although I would say Kenneth Gainwell, but he's as a running back, but he's not the feature back of this offense.
No, it's Jalen Warren. That should be the feature back.
I don't hear his name a whole lot in games anymore. So that's why I have my eye on. But I'm just kind of curious to see what he does against the Packers defense. And he's been saying all week, "This is not a revenge game. This is not a revenge game." Blah blah blah. Okay, you can say that's not a revenge game, Aaron.
Yeah,
we all know in your heart of hearts you want to stick it to Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, oh for sure.
Or Mike, was it Mike? Mike LaFleur.
No, I think you're right. It's Matt.
Yeah,
LaFleur.
Matt LaFleur. Mike's the OC in for the Rams.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want us to stick it to Matt LaFleur, especially for what happened in the 2020 NFC Championship game, where you're elected to kick the field goal instead of score a touchdown to take the lead, and Tom Brady made him pay for it. So that's my on the offense. On the defensive side of the ball,
can't have him locked up. He's important to the defense.
Trey Hendrickson. And the reason why I say Trey Hendrickson is because as of right now, I'm gonna look at the. Oh wait, actually, no, that's an hour ago by Ben Baby. Yes, that's his real name, Ben Baby of ESPN. Trey Hendrickson is expected to play against the New York Jets on Sunday. Now, who will be quarterback on Sunday for the New York Jets? We don't know because Aaron Glenn won't give anyone an answer about who will start on Sunday.
Put me
Will
down
it-
for Team Tarad.
Well, here, what did you say?
Wasn't it Baker who said his name is Tarad, but he doesn't correct anybody?
Hate that you said that. Anyway, Tyrod
Yeah.
was day to day this week with a knee injury that he suffered against the gosh, I forgot who they played because I
Oh,
forgot
what last
last week.
The Jets? Why can't I think?
Oh, the Panthers.
Oh yeah,
Panthers.
because
Yeah.
Bryce Young got hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, because Justin Fields was taken out because he was not moving the ball. But he says he hasn't given a definitive answer and will not disclose to anyone. And he's making Jets media and Jets fans rightfully upset that he won't reveal his pick for who will start at quarterback this week. Because some would say, oh, it's going to be Tyrod Taylor. Well, he's on the injury report, not practicing. Although I believe he was full practice yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. But we don't know. We don't know who's going to play quarterback this week. There's still no answer. But I have my eye on Trey Hendrickson because if Justin Fields is going to be in the backfield and he's going to be holding the ball for 7, 8, 9 seconds at a time and just freezing, Trey Hendrickson is going to eat him alive. Multiple sacks in that game.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be Tyrod Taylor, who is the veteran quarterback and is mobile, I would say he's for an older quarterback, he's still mobile, which means he knows what he's going to do with the ball. If he can't find a receiver or he's being rushed out of the pocket, he'll know to run. Unlike Justin Fields, who just stands there like a statue. Regardless of the fact that he's got legs and he knows how to use them. Shout out ZZ Top. But those are my two players that I have my eye on week 8. Dustin, what about you?
Quick ZZ Top fact before we go in. I've probably told you this before because it makes me laugh so much and I love it. The drummer for ZZ Top is the only member of the band that does not have a beard. You want to know what his last name is? Beard. Frank Beard. I love that. But anyway,
I'm gonna bring up a little Alanis Morissette here. Isn't it ironic?
It's
like Ray.
There you go. We're gonna get a copyright strike, Ryan. You got to watch
That's
it.
why I only need like three notes. But Dustin, who do you have your eye on in week 8?
My eye, like you, I tried to be a little balanced, Ryan. I try to pick an offensive and defensive guy this week. I'm not always good about that. Offensively, I'm looking at Saquon Barkley. Okay, Saquon, the Eagles are playing the Giants this week. Mm-hmm. They'll be motivated, I think, after the Giants beat them handedly on Thursday Night Football a couple weeks ago. And I think Saquon will be motivated to prove something again against the Giants. And he only has his numbers. I looked them up, and it's shocking. Now, I predicted before the season that Saquon would regress a little bit, but he'd still have a great season because last year was so unbelievable. I said regression's bound to happen. I remember, but I did not think it would be this. Now, a lot of it, people are going to put it at the feet of the Eagles offensive coordinator. They are not happy with him in Philly.
No,
but
they are not.
He has 3 touchdowns on the year. And Ryan, if I told past Ryan during our prediction show, we're going to be heading into week 8 and Saquon has not gone over 100 yards rushing in a game yet, would you be surprised? Because I would be. So,
yes, future Ryan would also be surprised.
Yes, future and
right now Ryan would be surprised.
Yes. I could not believe that. But I think this is a game Saquon's going to want to be involved. He's going to want to get it going against the Giants. And will the Giants be able to stop him? Because the Giants are not a perfect team. No team in the NFL is a perfect team, but defense has been the Giants' strength for a couple of years now. So I want to see how they perform against this Eagles offense and if they could shut them down and kind of shock them again. But I'll have my eye on Saquon Barkley. Defensively, I am
We got to play it?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I can't have him locked up. He's important to the defense.
And my player this week for that, shout out to Wise, as always, for that soundbite from our movie review series a couple years ago. No ticket required. Derek Stingley. Okay, Derek Stingley last week against the Seahawks, he did not shadow JSN for the entire game, but he did give up a touchdown to Jackson Smith-Njigba. And Jackson Smith-Njigba did very well against the Texans, and they're two great corners. They don't just have Stingley. They have two great corners, okay? But to put it lightly, JSN's been lighting everybody up this year. It doesn't matter. And the San Francisco 49ers, as presently constructed, they do not have a receiver on the field of JSN's caliber. And I want to see how Derek Stingley will do and kind of rebound after he did get an interception late when Sam Darnold decided to go to the JSN well one too many times. Derek Stingley did get a measure of revenge there, but by Stingley's standards, he had a bit of a bad game on Monday night. So I think he's going to be motivated to prove that he's still possibly the best corner in the game. And San Francisco's receiving core does not have anyone currently the caliber of JSN. So I think that could be an interesting matchup. And I think Derek Stingley, if the Texans are going to try to win this game, which we'll get to that later, he's going to have to be a reason why.
Yep. More comments in the comment section. James saying that Frank Beard has one magnificent mustache, though.
He does. He does. I forgot about that. He does have quite the flavor saver on him.
Hey, little duster. Can't go wrong with a little duster. James saying Saquon's actually playing at the link against this old team this year. Last year's game was meaningless and frozen. I should know. I was there. He also says that he finds it amusing that Jackson Dart's teammates are preparing him for the Philly atmosphere as if he's going to war. Okay. I have to push back on that because he played in the SEC. And he's played games against Alabama, against Auburn, Georgia, in venues similar to that, but with a college flair. And I didn't know if you know this, Dustin, but do you know why Jackson Dart has the eye black that he does?
No, I did not know this.
It's a tribute to Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, wow.
He's a big Star Wars fan. Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, he loves Star Wars. He's a big Star Wars fan. Anakin Skywalker was his favorite character growing up. So that's why he wears the eye black.
Oh, that makes perfect
vertically
sense now.
As opposed to horizontally. So, and also, I don't know why Shane Bowen is still with this team. He should have been left on Mount Elbert, the tallest mountain in the state of Colorado after last week's meltdown.
Man. I hate to admit it, Ryan, but I am excited for many reasons for watching football with the guys tomorrow. But I'm excited for you and Scott to come together and have a session about your Jets.
Well, hey, remember the last time? Well, don't forget the last time that we were together and watching Red Zone on your TV and watching the Jets on the iPad. That was the miracle comeback in Cleveland.
Yeah, I remember because I was out at the grill in the rain cooking wings, and Dave came out to help me, and we both heard shouts of exclamation and excitement from the house.
Because Joe Flacco, that touchdown pass to Garrett Wilson, that broke the road losing streak for the Jets.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an unbelievable. I couldn't believe that comeback happened, as I know that you couldn't. And man, what a time warp that seems like, because Ryan,
The-
that was, I
the-
think, week 2 of that season.
That
It
was week 2 of 2022.
Week 2.
Mm-hmm.
And the Seahawks and 49ers played. And do you remember who started at QB for the 49ers in that game?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
It was Trey Lance.
Oh, God.
Trey Lance was starting for the San Francisco 49ers, and that is the game where he got injured, and then
Yep.
Brock Purdy came in and everything started.
Yep. And you know who started the game 3 years ago for the New York Jets in Cleveland?
Who was that?
Joe Flacco.
Oh, man, I forgot. I forgot Joe Flacco.
Yep.
That's right.
And he's going to have
That's
a field day because Sauce Gardner's not playing. He's got
Yeah.
concussion. He's not playing
Yeah.
this game. So they got a rookie corner, AZ Thomas, who's going to be up against either Chase or Higgins. It's not going to be a pretty game.
No,
0-8 incoming.
Yeah, no,
Yay.
that's going to be tough because Sauce was going to be my defensive player to watch because if he played, I was very curious as to whether they'd put him on Chase or whether they'd put him on Higgins, but then I looked up his concussion status. He's out. So
Yep, he's done. He's done for this week. All right, we're gonna 2 more segments. We're gonna end this, actually 3, because we got to talk about Extra Life too. But let's talk about our Cut the Brakes Pick'em Challenge.
Because I cut the brakes! Wild card, bitches! Yeah! What?
And here's our picks for week 8. Again, our Pick'em Challenge. It's brought to you by Royal Retros, the king of throwbacks. Again, royalretros.com. Use promo code CREDHEAD at checkout for 15% off your order. Also forgot to mention you get free shipping for every order over $100. So let's go over Dustin's picks. He's got Tampa Bay beating the Saints. He's got the Chiefs beating the Commanders. And his upset pick, the wild card, is the Texans beating the 49ers. That's a juicy pick right there. As for me, I've got the Colts over the Titans. I got the Steelers beating the Packers in the Aaron Rodgers revenge game that he says that's not a revenge game, but it's actually a revenge game.
Oh, I can see the press conference now, Ryan. If the Steelers win this game, Aaron Rodgers is going to go off at that podium. You know he can't resist it.
Just like he did in week 1 against the Jets.
Yeah.
And my upset pick, I've got the Bears. The Bears beating the Ravens in Baltimore.
That's Ryan. You're riding with the Bears. I like it. I almost went the opposite side of that game to go head to head against you, but I'm not confident enough. I have no sense of the Ravens. No sense of what they will do.
No, and Lamar Jackson's coming back, but I don't think it's going to matter because their defense is still they're still banged up. They're still banged up, and they had a week. I believe they had a bye week last week, so they got a week to figure stuff out. So, but yes, these are our picks for the Cut the Brakes Pick'em Challenge. What are your picks? Dustin and I are vying for some merch from Royal Retros at the end of the season. One of us will be getting free gear from the other. I am currently up 15-11 because nothing changed last week. We did not nail our upset picks, although Dustin's still kind of sour that the Giants didn't wind up stealing the win over the Broncos.
Yeah, I thought they were bringing me one step closer to that Blockbusters jersey, Ryan.
And that's our Cut the Brakes Pick'em Challenge for week 8. Because I cut the brakes! Wild card, bitches! Yeah! What?
By the way, I don't know if you've seen these lines for these games this week. They're wild.
I have not.
All right. So this is I'm looking at ESPN, so they have their own website, which you have to wonder why the NBA betting scandal is being buried on ESPN.
Oh man, yeah.
Sorry, not buried, slightly shoveled over. Sorry. So these are the lines so far. Atlanta's a 7.5 point favorite over the Dolphins. Cincinnati's a 6.5 point favorite. New England is a 7.5 point favorite against Cleveland. As are the Eagles over the Giants and the Bills over Carolina. Baltimore's a 3.5 point favorite. Houston's a 1.5 point favorite over San Francisco.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't look at the money line. So technically, I can't pick that game, can I? Because it's
Which
not
game?
The Texans over San Francisco, right?
That's your upset pick.
Yeah, that was my upset pick. I thought, didn't you? They're -1? Are they minus?
They're favored by 1.5.
They're favored?
They're favored because the way that things work, and correct me if I'm wrong. If you're a degenerate gambler, correct me in the chat
Okay.
or on the comment section. But I believe it's usually the home team gets like a 3-point bump or 2.5-point bump.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. But I would still count that because because San Francisco has the better record.
Yeah.
So if you nail that, I'll give you the points.
Okay.
I am a fair and objective.
I just assumed. I didn't even bother to look at the money line because I'm like, this has got to be an upset.
So yeah, I would count that as an upset because of of record, not because of money, not because of the betting line, because of the record. Tampa is a 3.5-point favorite over New Orleans. Denver's a 3.5-point favorite over Dallas. Green Bay 2.5 over Pittsburgh. Now, there's 2 games I haven't mentioned: Tennessee at Indy, Washington at Kansas City.
Okay.
Take a guess. I'm going to start with the smaller line. Take a guess what the line is for Commanders Chiefs.
All right, Commanders Chiefs. I'm going to say the Chiefs +7. Oh man. All right. The Chiefs +14?
A little lower.
+10?
11.5.
Oh man. Okay.
They're at home again. The 3-point, you get the 2.5, 3.5-point bump when you're at home.
I mean, that's because Marcus Mariota's at quarterback. That's what that is.
Now, take a guess as what for the line for Titans Colts.
17.5.
A little lower.
Oh, all right. +13.
A little higher.
+14.
14.5.
All right, there we go.
Last I checked it yesterday, it was 13.5, but with Calvin Ridley's injury taking into effect, the Vegas odds makers give him an extra point.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this NFL's wild. I mean, all these scores, all these games, these favorites. You think the NFL is going one way this year? This is how the NFL has been in 2025. You think the NFL is going to go one way one week, and then that week they say, "Ha ha!" When script writers change everything. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? Everything changes from week to week. It's just crazy. This year is drunk. We thought last year was drunk. This year is approaching blackout drunk. All right. 2 more segments and we got to get out of here. Our favorite athletes to wear number 77. And I went with hockey once again because that's how my mind goes. It's either offensive linemen, defensive linemen, or hockey players for these numbers. We're quickly approaching the 80s. Hopefully we get into the 90s before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Because I know Dustin has his favorite number, his favorite athlete for number 94. So I'll back away from that one. But number 77, which matches the year I was born, 1977. I went with Ray Bork, Raymond Jean Bork.
That's a great pick.
Yeah, it's great. That's a great pick. First 8th overall pick in the 1979 NHL draft, was the first pick of the Boston Bruins. Initially wore number 7, but when Phil Esposito retired, because Phil Esposito originally wore number 7. When he retired, Ray Bork changed his number to 77. And he was 77 from that point on. Hall of Famer. Won the Norris Trophy 5 times as best defenseman in the NHL. Won the Calder Trophy for Rookie of the Year in 1980. Won the Clancy Award for humanitarian efforts in 1992. Is part of the NHL's 100 greatest players, the 100th anniversary team. 19-time All-Star. 19.
Wow.
In his career, 1,612 games played. He scored 410 goals, assisted on 1,169, was a plus 527. Incredible. 60 game-winning goals, 173 power play goals scored, including 13 in 1999, 2000, and in his final season in 2001, was a Stanley Cup trophy winner for the first time in his career. Should have been, and with the Colorado Avalanche, should have been a New Jersey Devil in 2000. Still mad about. I'm still pissed at Lou Lamoriello for that, not executing that trade. But Devils won the Stanley Cup in 2000, regardless. But still, should have been a New Jersey Devil. Ray Bork, he's the first in my mind when it comes to number 77. Dustin, I know you've got one who's entirely different, so go ahead with your number 77.
People have seen this one coming since episode 1. They knew what it was going to be. You knew what it was going to be, Ryan. And I've talked a lot about this man on these very airwaves, so I will keep this relatively brief. But surprising no one, and if you're still in the chat, Kevin, you knew it. Ryan, I need the Homer alert.
It's coming. Incoming. Where is it? There you are. Homer alert!
It is one Luka Doncic. Drafted by the Dallas Mavericks in 2018. He was not drafted by the Dallas Mavericks. They drafted Trae Young, and the Hawks drafted Luka, and then there was a draft night trade, which I was very happy about. No disrespect to Trae Young, who is a great player in his own right. But in Luka's relatively short career, he is a 5 times All-Star. He is a 5-time All-NBA player. He was the 2018-19 Rookie of the Year. He was the 2023-2024 NBA scoring champion. He was on the 2018-2019 All-Rookie team. And to top it all off, Michael Finley took his beer, but he was the 2023-2024 Western Conference Finals MVP. Went to the NBA Finals against the Celtics and were summarily dispatched. My Mavs, I think they won 1 game in that series, but it wasn't too good. Some of his nicknames, Ryan: the Matador, El Matador, Cool Hand, the Don, Wonder Boy, El Nino, Swaggy L. I'll never call him Swaggy L. Luka Legend, Too Easy, and Luka Magic. And he now, as infamously discussed on this show in many rants, one of which went about a half an hour. I'm sorry, everybody. Luka now plays for the Lakers, and Mavs fans were incensed last night because they lost to the Washington Wizards. And I looked at the comments. I did not see the game, but I looked at the comments in Dallas social media, and they said defense wins championships, and then they said Luka has 32 again at the half against the Wolves tonight. So he will be a Hall of Famer when it is all said and done. There is no question. I wish he was still in Dallas. I still like to watch him play. Luka is my favorite number 77. I will leave it at that.
I don't know if you caught this story this morning, Dustin, but apparently Dallas Mavericks fans are here. Let me back up here. They're here.
Yeah.
When it comes to Nico Harrison, because at the game last night, with their effort or lack thereof, they were chanting "Fire Nico," and I'm sure you echo those sentiments.
I do. Now, Nico, if he was here to try to defend himself, he'd say, "Well, Kyrie Irving isn't back yet, and we don't have Daniel Gafford. You will never live down that trade, sir."
Oh, sorry. Am I on camera? James says Adam Oates is his favorite number 77.
That's another great pick.
One of the best passers in NHL history, and a reason why Anaheim made the playoffs at all before the 2003 run. Adam Oates, RPI engineer.
Oh, wow. I did not remember that. Wow.
He played for RPI. So did Joey Juneau. They both played for RPI. I think they were teammates together.
That sounds about right. The timelines would line up.
And Joey Juneau, famous for building his own airplane. He built his own airplane.
Wow.
Because he was an aeronautics engineering. He was his major at RPI.
Yeah.
But yeah, I double checked. Adam Oates wore number 77 with the Washington Capitals Philadelphia Flyers, and the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, and ended his career in 2004 with your Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, yes, that's why I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, he originally wore number 12 when he was Detroit Red Wing. Adam Woods was, I believe he was on the 85 team, RPI team that won the national championship, if I'm not mistaken. Let me do my real-time research. Adam Oates, RPI. Yep, he was inducted to the RPI Athletics Hall of Fame in 2004, and I want to say he was on that 85 team. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He had 91 points in 1984-85, won the Hobie Baker, and helped RPI win the 1985 national championship. And at his in his 3 years at RPI, their record was 85-19-1.
Wow.
Yeah. And they won the ECAC in 84 and 85 and ultimately won the national championship in 1985. I believe it was a 2-1 win over Providence. Yep. Over Providence. Yep. Who in net for Providence College, New Jersey Devil, great Chris Terreri.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep, but Adam Oates did play with the Detroit Red Wings. I think he actually played some of his time at the Adirondack Red Wings.
Oh, man.
At Glens Falls Civic Center. So he has a lot of local connections here.
Yeah.
And I think right now he's coaching. He was a coach with the Devils for a bit, and I don't know where he is now. Wikipedia said that he was coaching. He joined the LA Kings as a team consultant in 2018. So I don't know where he is now, but he would be a great interview for this podcast because of his connections to the Albany area, the Capital Region area. That would be a great interview.
That would be awesome.
James says also honorable mention to Anson Carter. He thinks, but let's
Anson Carter, best hair in the NHL, man.
Yes. Anson Carter wore number 77 with the Vancouver Canucks, the Columbus Blue Jackets, and his final season with the Carolina Hurricanes in 2007. So yes, you are correct, James. But with the Sharks, he wore. Let's see, was it the San Jose Shark? No, he wasn't.
I was going to say he's a Ranger.
He was
at one point.
He was a Ranger. He was also an Edmonton Oiler.
Where again?
Number
that's
22.
where I remember him.
Number 22. Yeah, exactly. But yes, he played for the Rangers in 2004, and was traded to the Capitals in 2004. So, all right, before we get out of here, Dustin, let people know about Extra Life.
All right, so we're a few short weeks away now. I think we're just about 2 weeks away. I will be raising money for the Bernard and Millie Duker Children's Hospital at Albany Med. I will be doing it in the name of Extra Life. And this charity, affiliated with the Children Miracle Network of Hospital, raises money for sick children and their families that need it. And 100% of your donation, should you decide to donate, will go to the families that need it and the sick children that need it. It raises money for children fighting causes like cancer and other horrible diseases. And this will be my 8th year doing it. I love doing it every year. If you are so inclined to donate, go to extra-life.org and search for Dustin Henry. You will find me and have the ability to donate to my cause if you can. If you can't donate, help spread the word and help support. How can I do that, you ask? Well, if you're friends with me on Facebook or you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you will see me talking about this, and I will provide links on how to donate and help me get the word out. And also, if you are so inclined, join me. I will be doing this November 8th from 9 a.m., starting at 9 a.m. Eastern time for as long as I can go. I'm going to try to go the 24 hours. I don't always make it. I'm an older man now. But what games will we be playing? We will be playing Helldivers 2, Mario Kart World, Borderlands 3, Fall Guys, to name a few. My friend from Virginia is going to join me remotely, as he does most years for most of this, a large chunk of it. Ryan is always good to stop by and support.
Yeah.
Maybe he and I could do a live episode of No Creds on game day. But also, don't forget, tune in to Ryan. I won't be on the show Saturday, but Ryan will be. But if you want to, join me on Twitch. I will be streaming, and there'll be a button to donate in the Twitch stream as well. I hope to see you there. Really look forward to it every year. Happy to raise some money for some sick children at the Bernard and Millie Duker Children's Hospital.
That's right. He's the PK Subban of our program. Dustin doing some good things for some good people out in the local Albany area. And links down below. It's also going to be in the Belly Up Sports YouTube description and our podcast description as well. If you are inclined, if you have the financial ability to do so, please donate. Let's get him to his goal before he even starts streaming. People.
Oh man,
that would be great. But all the stuff down here. That's his participant link for Extra Life, and over there is his Twitch channel. You're thinking about doing some some warm-up sessions before you go live?
Yeah, some test streams. The only problem is it's been kind of because I need to test the remote setup. I've already tested it once. I know it works, but I'm always paranoid, so I want to do it again. But Chris's availability for that has kind of gone up and down a bit. So I'm going to figure out a night to do a test stream. I just haven't figured out when yet.
All right. So that's your show, folks. Thanks for sticking with us. So we're going to get out of here. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back in a couple minutes to record. It won't be live, but it'll be a recording of 10 good minutes. We're going to talk about we're going to react to the Who Killed the Montreal Expos documentary that would debut on Netflix this week. Talk about that. But also, again, tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Just Endure the Suffering. I'm still working on some things in regards to have another donut. So hopefully that comes out pretty soon. Maybe I'll release something in the bye week next week because I have nothing to talk about
you'll
the
have
Jets.
some
so
time. Yeah,
I'll have some time. So I'll do some recording there. And Seahawks sessions with Dustin Friday nights at 7:30, and our show Tuesdays at 6:30 and 10 a.m. on Saturdays. But you can also catch the recording on the podcast side and on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel. So we're going to get out of here. Before we do that, just want to remind you about our social media channels, which are right here: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required. You can also check out our other podcasts and written articles at bellyupsports.com. On the podcast side, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and that includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, Pandora, and our host, which is Podbean. And don't forget to hit that notification bell on our Twitter and our YouTube accounts so you know when our shows go live, when we have videos that go up, like the 10 good minutes, it's going to happen this afternoon, and general show announcements. But we're going to get out of here. Thank you for joining us in the live edition of No Credentials Required, or if you're watching or listening later, thank you for joining us. Again, a No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are proudly presented by Belly Up Sports. For Dustin Henry, I'm Ryan McCarthy. We'll be back here. Both of us will be back here Tuesday at 6:30, reacting to everything that happened in Week 8. And until then, you have a great weekend. Stay safe. Enjoy the football. Enjoy your choring if you're doing some fall chores. But in the meantime, we'll be back here live Tuesday night, 6:30 p.m. So have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Good morning, everybody.
It's not morning anymore.
I know. I missed it.